Dear friends, we are back at the FSL Arena of Valor. This is the elite version, by the way. We will be your shoutcasters. I'm Kaysaya, and I'm with Abstract.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for sticking around as well. Yep. We've got some conclusive games in the previously, and we're looking at the last 2 games now of this round robin.
It was pretty intense, but looking at what we have so far in here, we have 2 more matches to watch out. EVOSxBazaar and TNN, so as FOBO team, as well as EVOSxBazaar. The match a while ago between these 2 teams, EVOSxBazaar, 2 organizations or 2 teams of EVOS organization, EVOSxBazaar and EVOSxBazaar, they went up on a 1-1 score a while ago, and it was pretty intense. I think you can see in here the capability of the coaches that they have as well.
Yeah, so it's, well, let's just say that they are definitely in the same league.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in some cases of organization, they have like the stronger one and they have the weaker one. In this case, it's definitely not the case. Because we've got these players, they have been duking it out against each other, and the games have been close enough. And, well, it has been quite a thrilling ride so far.
Totally, and actually onto the point system that we currently have right now, EVOSxBazaar, so as FOBO team, actually already have 4 points at the moment, but there's still a chance for FOBO team to actually catch up, so as is EVOSxBazaar to catch up in terms of the points that we have, because this is just day 1 of the FSL Elite, and on tomorrow on day 2 will be the playoffs.
Right, so now we're going to be taking a look at the drafting phase now. So it's going to take some time, but actually it's not going to take some time at all because the banning phase is about to be over. We've got Fennec. Varus is going to be banned out by from Bazaar. And for TNN side, we've got Florentino and Zip.
You mentioned Zip is actually your favorite, and while I was actually watching the previous match, you mentioned, why is the team with Zip not winning? And there you go. They actually made a comeback. That Zip crowd control was quite annoying. You know, he is also able to save lives, but then again, TNN probably saw that from the match a while ago, so they will be banning that one out. Meanwhile, we have in here Elsu getting prioritized by EVOSxBazaar, and TNN having the Hayate lock right away.
Well, I'm not too sure about the Elsu pickup, but, well, they did pick it up anyways. In the end, we do have a Hayate that's going to be picked up coming in for TNN side, and let's just say that that's the Hayate curse. The Hayate curse is
What's the curse for the Hayate?
You know, the curse is that Hayate has always been seen as a really good hero, so it's always banned.
Right.
But in the instance that Hayate is actually picked up, it doesn't get executed well and they lose. So far, Hayate has got a 0% win rate in this tournament.
Wow, that's a really good analysis from the statistics that we have so far. Yet, Elsu getting a priority in here, so as is Lindis. We actually saw this already a while ago on our Game 1, wherein there's both an Elsu and a Lindis marksman in one team, and give that a good tank in the form of Pain. This will allow these 2 marksmen to do really great damage from the back line. So I think definitely TNN will need in here a really good assassin or someone who can go directly onto the back line. Nakroth might be good, Kriknak might be good, or Murad probably, but the problem in here, there's still an opportunity for EVOSxBazaar to actually pick a hero. Potentially could be Alistair onto the middle lane to do a backline. Oh, look at that camera that we have. I like that. Just giving a high onto the face cam.
I was hoping to see a little bit of a Lindis on the opponent's side though.
Oh.
Like I wanted to see Lindis on TNN side, but it does seem like Seven Treasure managed to steal the Lindis away. The only reason why I want to see Lindis on the TNN side literally is just for piercing gaze.
In here, we saw TNN a while ago deciding on which jungler might they gonna be picked. They were actually deciding between the Nakroth as well as the Kriknak, and now they have actually locked in the Darcy. I think they were actually thinking about, okay, if we pick an assassin, we should go on a closer range against an Elsu as well as the Lindis. We might get bursted down and get crowd controlled if they pick probably the Alistair. But then again, they go on a safer path, which is taking this Darcy Darcy, we can go deal, really good range to catch up potentially these two marksmen onto the back line.
Exactly. So we might not even need an assassin for this game.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
Darcy has already fulfilled the role in the jungle, right? So we are looking at heroes that can go to mid lane.
Yes.
We can have Talon. Xiao Chan is now banned
Yes.
out. Liliana could be a choice. Crixie as well. So it's gonna be a little bit tough, but we're just gonna go through and take a look at the total pickups so far for 7 Treasure, Elsu, Lindis, and Thane. How do you think about that?
Well, they really, having a 2 marksman lineup in here so far, definitely will need some kind of protection onto the front line. And but I think it's time, let's take a look first on what they might be banning in out in here. A while ago, this time we can actually see there's no DS laner yet onto the side of TNN. That's why the Omen ban as well. And as you can see, they have removed the Ao-Chan, so as the Roxy, primarily because they don't EVOS doesn't have any mid laner as well as the DS laner as well. But in here we can see the strategy that they are actually planning to do. Like basically removing the potential heroes that might counter what they wanted to pick.
Does seem it's gonna be that way, but I still don't know what exactly they're gonna go for.
It's kind of tricky, right?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky. We can't really exactly zone down exactly what they want because Omen and Kilgroth, it doesn't really say anything.
Yes, exactly. What we can say basically, okay, these are the missing roles of the opponent team, so let's just ban it out. Yena is gonna get picked in here onto the side of TNN. Chi is actually making a show, but this one is not locked yet. Not yet locked. Wow. In case they pick the Astrid in here, solid. Tank so far will be in the lineup of EVOSxBazaar, but they changed it. They're still deciding on which one might be the best pick.
Yeah, all the unorthodox picks might come, might not. But it does seem like the unorthodox for this one is in some sense gonna be Superman. I gotta put it that way. But I don't think that they're going to go through with this.
Superman is no problem for me, I guess so, because then again, I gotta repeat, 2 marksman setup, they need someone, a little bit solid. Richer is okay. He is not as tanky as the Superman, but, with the stuns that he can dish out coming out from the brush, he can potentially, gank, really, set up a good gank.
Right. I believe that the Mark of the Hunter does give a little bit of survivability for himself as well. So it does have, the front lines. He can go for the front lines a little bit. But,
a little bit, yeah.
But for Thane, in some sense, Thane is going to be the only one in front. He's got decent CCs going on, different things that they will want to go with. But in the end, I think that I'm still a fan of TNN's lineup. Not because of Hayate, because Hayate's curse, in some sense, is there, but only because I like Yena.
They really, we gotta admit, they got good damage, especially on the late game time, and with that Hayate as well as the Darcy. But I think right now, even though whatever TNN might pick in here onto the last slot, I think I'm still liking the EVOSxBazaar setup in here. Elsu and Lindis, this is just like real damage later onto the later part of the stage. Even if they go all snowball already on the early game time, they could just like utilize that one and make use of it and just snowball all throughout the game.
Exactly. And now, before we head into the game, we're just gonna take a look at the team profiles real quick.
There you go.
And we will just jump straight in for the next one.
Again, these 2 teams coming up from 2 different countries. TNN coming up from Taiwan, and of course from Thailand is this team, EVOSxBazaar.
Arena of Valor.
And there you go. We are now heading on to the Antares battlefield. Once again, this is EVOSxBazaar and TNN fighting for their rights in here onto the battlefield. Let's have a quick recap of the lineup. For TNN, we have in here Yena for Albi, Hayate for Nana, Darcy for Rain, Baldum for Mia, and of course Alistair for Ding.
And for the other side, for 7 Treasure, we do have Maz going to be playing onto the Lindis, FZK, just onto the Elsu Sniper, Elise onto the Richter, Yunha onto Thane, And D Lucy, they will be playing as the Fox, Liliana.
Liliana, the Foxy Lady. And there you go. Of course, very important in this within 4-minute game time. You don't give away any casualties at all to your opponents so that they couldn't snowball. And you can see in here, really good position by the Baldoom. This Mia onto the side of TNN, just basically showing some vision, providing some vision for her teammates. But then again, what mostly we will see as well is this fast clear being done by TNN as well. Oh, look at that.
My oh my, Yunha just going straight in with a valiant charge. Evelyn's Fury did a little bit of a work, but in the end, it does seem like both sides are just gonna fall back right after Eliza puts down the Matrix of Woe.
It's a pretty chill start right now. No, we didn't see any invade in the jungle of their opponents.
It's more like, you know, poking in drips and drabs a little bit, you know.
And just basically providing vision onto the mid. They didn't even had an early meetup a while ago, but this time, as we have already a level 4 from the side of EVOSxBazaar, we might potentially see a gank very soon.
Yina is already pretty low in HP thanks to Richter. I gotta put it that way.
And
And it does seem like she definitely will want to go back home. So 4-man here in the middle lane. Abyssal Dragon is ready for the picking, and we've got damage coming in drips and drabs by Mass with the Luna champion.
This is really great that the Lindis Maz was able to secure that Sentinel. You can see that is basically the reason why they have a little bit of gold lead right now on this 2-minute game time. But still, I think for the side of TNN, for them to not allow the blue team to go snowball further on, they have to secure this Abyssal Dragon or at least steal some smaller jungle comps onto the side of Bazaar.
So we do have, like, after all, it is going to be a double marksman team. In some sense, Elsu is going to take some time before he goes online.
Totally.
But for Lindis, it's fine because he does have a decent amount of gold and farm in the jungle. But every time they just hold that thought, Magic Prison coming in, but it's just going to be completely disturbed by the Valiant Charge coming from Yunha, doing pretty well. Mia's going to go down as Lucy takes off the last kill from that part. The Shuriken toss coming in from Hayate didn't really work out that well. In the end, they did manage to get one kill onto Baldoom, and that is pretty much, you know, all that's needed.
One kill going on to the side of EVOSxBazaar in here. That actually paid off so well because we can see the Yina from the DS side join the team fight. So it was almost a 5v3 or 5v4 situation. And what you really want to do is to, or rather, actually the damage output early game time of the Liliana as well, and the the solid tank protection that this Yunha provided onto the form of this Thane.
So well, Yunha can displace the opponents pretty well, and that is pretty much where most of these enemies are just going to have some problem.
Oh, well, team fight.
Here we have the Avalon's Fury right onto Mia. Not like it's going to work anything. What is that Wild Prison actually? Unfortunate if you ask me. But the main thing about Valiant Charge coming in from Thane really is to disrupt the Magic Prison from Eliza.
Gotta be very careful in here. We can see one getting caught up onto the side once more of TNN. You saw that stun coming from the Richter?
Impressive. Jungle Strike is one thing that you really have to look out for. The stun and the knockups is either way. Well, you have to be careful.
Oh, look at that. I potentially think that actually that did connect. Look at the HP bar of that Hayate, forced to back away. And onto the top lane, really good rotation. Right after the Lindis took that Sentinel, they proceed on to taking this tier 1 turret onto the top lane. So you can see the understandable snowball coming on from the side of EVOSxBazaar right now. And looking at the playstyle of both Evo's team, they really go for the aggressive playstyle. A while ago I mentioned it's gonna chill in the early 1-minute game time, but holding that thought,
my oh my, LB will be able to go in and kind of out for a little while. Doesn't seem like the spinning sickle is able to do anything at the moment of time, but Mia just wandering around the bushes, ready to do some action. In the meantime, the Dimensional Wall coming from Rain, not gonna connect though, but will be able to get a decent push down here in the middle lane. All for nothing though, they are still going for a rather passive game.
You can see the focus of Evo's team in here, prioritizing where the next objective is. So taking that position onto the bottom lane part, but holding that though once more.
Avalon's Fury, King of Glory, right onto Hayate. He goes down and just gonna go down for another 15 seconds.
Oh man.
Lose up in farm. Oh,
unfortunately for that Richter.
Mhm.
But yeah, they got a position at Abyssal Dragon in here, although we can see Mia in here being very aggressive on trying to shove away the members of EVOSxBazaar, getting that stun. But yeah, going back to what I wanted to say, the style of EVOS players in here is just, you know, the very aggressive fight. They make sure that they will be able to secure at least the Sentinel or steal away, you know, smaller jungle monsters, the neutral monsters onto the jungle of their opponent. And that's what they have been doing. And I think their opponents really has to work away, to counter that style, that kind of rotation that they have been showing for today.
As it is for now, we're looking at 6 minutes and 30 seconds in.
Again, the third one.
Third one, just keep on getting the Spirit
Yes.
Sentinel. And well, 3-1 with a total of about 3,000 gold advantage. So it's been looking pretty well for EVOSxBazaar.
Totally. You can see the priority in here on the Spirit Sentinel. To be honest, right after the Abyssal Dragon benefit got nerfed away, you can see most of the teams will definitely prioritize the Sentinel more because it's easy to kill and of course it gives more gold. But
here we have the Magic Prison coming in onto Elise. Eliza was able to get away with just a sliver of health. The Wild Prison not going to land on anyone though, but a Wild Charge coming in from Belgium will be able to get himself away from all of that danger in the meantime. They are still going to congregate here in the middle lane. Shuriken toss coming in from Nana. The damage coming in. Yuna trying to go for the Valor Charge. Unfortunately wasn't able to do anything at the point of time. But the mid lane, first tier defense turret will go down.
7-minute game time and you can see 3 turrets down onto the side of TNN and the tier 2 turret onto the bottom lane is about to fall down as well. Anytime someone gets to do a split push onto the lane, this will definitely go down. But map control early on, this will say something to what EVOSxBazaar can do. Look at that very early Dark Slayer contest.
In fact, getting all 3 turrets down in 7 minutes is pretty fast already.
Yeah.
So far, we have seen, okay, for the previous game for EVOSxBazaar versus EVOSxBazaar, they had a game that extended all the way to about 25 minutes, 26 minutes. And that definitely did not happen. Definitely did not happen in that game.
A lot of catching up must be done in here by the RC. But of course, if without the help of his teammates, she won't be able to farm up. And at the same time, they're losing even their very own buffs getting stolen by Maz on this Lindis. And then again, you can see they're not even, EVOSxBazaar is not even prioritizing the Abyssal Dragon. They just want to make sure that first they take the Sentinel. And once they got a really great position onto the Abyssal Dragon, that's just when they are going to take it. Just like this. Potentially, they might use this to just bait out TNN or they just secure it for themselves.
Very likely it's going to be a bait because of where Thane is.
Oh?
Kings, oh man. I was expecting a little bit more, but the Avalon's Fury did manage to pop out, and they are ready to take the Kratos in the end. I think that, you know, Thane is just in a position just so that he's able to use Valiant Charge against any enemies so that he can bring the enemies closer to the heart of the enemies.
Totally. But in here, you can see in this minimap right now, you can see the red team TNN is actually trying to make a move on trying to contest that one. If they are actually able to steal this dragon, they will get a little bit of catch up in terms of gold, but I do guess that in terms of team fights, they still have to be extra careful because the Lindis damage as well as the Elsu damage, the true damage even from the Elsu is just way too much. And knowing that they only got one tanky hero in here, which is in the form of the Baldoom, is going to be very tricky for TNN.
Exactly. So, well, they have to play as cautious as they can. Even though that they managed to get the Dark Slayer, they are about to get the Kratos. They still have, you know, in some sense, a long way to go because they got to push down the turrets. They need to find a way to, you know, break up the space, zone out the opponents just so that they can get the turrets.
I do believe that TNN still has an opportunity to make a comeback in terms of the catching of gold in here because look at that, no turrets down yet onto the side of EVOSxBazaar, and once they take this, probably steal this Abyssal Dragon or take some of the turrets in here and onto the mid just in case they win this potential team fight that may happen, they can make, they can overcome or can take over the lead in here.
I believe that, you know, TNN might actually go for this fight. We do have all ultimates online for TNN.
Yes, you're actually right.
So let's just take a look at this. And what I expect is going to be a wild prison first coming from Mia. Perhaps.
Oh,
Wild charge-
unfortunately.
Oh, what?
That was just a really great zone out by the Thane all alone, allowing the Lindis to secure that Abyssal Dragon. So quite unfortunate once again for TNN for not being able to steal that one. Then again, I guess they just have to play safe, be very patient for them to potentially still make a comeback.
They definitely want to be as safe as possible, don't want to be complacent or even overextend themselves. You know, if Mia were to use the wrong wild prison at the wrong time, then it's gonna go all the way spiraling down.
Right, and I think that is what EVOSxBazaar is taking opportunity now. Look at that, what are they doing right now? Managing all of the waves onto the bot mid, so as the top is in a really good position as well, given that, you know, across the river, you can see the blue minions actually going onto the side of the red team, and yeah.
Well, the amount of entrapments around the battlefield definitely does give quite a good amount of sight to the team of EVOSxBazaar. So that is one thing. They are able to have a decent amount of map control. Not that it matters right now, but in the event that, you know, they actually lose a little bit of the control, the entrapment is still there, and they still can pick out the opponents one after another, or rather one by one, if they need to catch up in terms of goal.
Yeah, what I think TNN could have done onto their draft as well, since they do have already mage jungle, I think they could have opted potentially for a warrior mid. Potentially, they could have. Did they ban out the Varus? I think yeah, they banned out the Varus. EVOSxBazaar did ban out the Varus potentially because if you have a Darcy jungle mage, you could pick out the Varus for the mid. But they still have a lot of options. They could go for a Malok mid. But unfortunately, they went on to a softer side, softer composition. I mean, you know, this is a very squishy Aleister. So as the Darcy, and of course actually it's just Baldum is the tankiest one.
Yeah, so far, it does seem like TNN, they like this composition. We've seen this couple of times from TNN with a Darcy and a Aleister. So I believe that this is more of their comfort pick at this point of time. They just want to go for the wombo combo, bring the opponents down with the immense arcane damage.
And I guess it's going to be the 5th Sentinel that the Lindis is going to be securing once more onto the side of EVOSxBazaar. Really good zone out and vision provided by Yuna here by this Thane. And again, still, I do believe TNN can make a comeback in here. Just one perfect setup by the Baldum. But when is that going to happen? Or potentially the Darcy as well with the Dimensional Cube.
I'm just waiting for the Dimensional Portal to come out. The Valiant Charge, Kane's God! Avalanche Fury is just way too much. The turret's gonna go down! And it is definitely gonna be. The Wild Prison was activated, but no one, unfortunately, no one.
It was a waste.
Submerged into the land.
Yeah, probably the ants. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair.
To be fair. Well, anyway, so yeah, that was what we're talking about. You know, they need a good setup, but unfortunately, Dimensional Cube weren't even put out in the place because the Darcy died early on, and the Wild Prison didn't even, catch anyone from the side of EVOSxBazaar. And again, this is the second Dark Slayer that they are gonna secure. And we know that the more you get the Dark Slayer and the further the game time continue, this Dark Slayer is gonna come stronger and will be able to push turrets even more.
Exactly. So in the previous team fight, they didn't manage to do a lot due to the fact that they lost Rain. And I will say that Darcy as well as Aleister is going to be one of their main cores. If they lose either one of these heroes, they probably would not engage or follow through with the fight if, one of them dies earlier on. Even if there's Hina or Hayate, unless we go to the late game.
I'm gonna go back on the draft of TNN once more. I think the Aleister was a really good pick for the middle lane. I mean, who does he want to catch up from the side of EVOSxBazaar? There's not really an assassin onto the form of this one. Do they want to get the Liliana? We know that Liliana has some closer range damage, but then again, I think the most important part, I guess, is to secure from the side of TNN magic. That probably a Preta would be greater, Preta, or someone who has an AoE.
To be fair, a group probably does the job as well. Just gonna hold that thought. King's Glory coming in from Yuna will be able to get a successful kill right on the bottom, but the Drake is just going to be wrecking havoc right on the top lane turret.
man.
I have no idea how, but it does seem like Yuna went down. Is it because of Liliana?
The Elsu actually.
Elsu's knight.
Yes.
Oh, I missed it. Oh.
Yes, oh my goodness, and there you go, really good creep wave onto the middle lane part of the map, getting caught up one
Oh!
member, Mads, and there you go, they continue for the team fight.
Fire Valiant Charge coming in from Thane. Definitely did quite a mark right about there. And of course, we're just going to be left here in the middle lane, and they managed to successfully bring down the middle lane turret just so fast. I think they're going to relegate themselves to the top lane and eventually to the bottom lane. They're definitely not going to immediately rig into the core just yet.
Still, the Hayate, what is happening? Not really
Oh
going
my
online
God.
right now, look at that!
Yuna went in, managed to get a decent Avalanche Fury and King's Glory. The HP of the Eliza was really low though, but in the end, managed to push them back. Yuna coming in strong,
Woo!
but in the end, they were a little bit too late as they focused down onto the core.
Wow, congratulations to EVOSxBazaar for getting the one score or first win on our round 1 for this best of 2 round robin match against TNN. TNN, I think, how many matches do they have so far for today? So I
think this is going to be the last game.
Yeah, and so far they haven't got any win yet for
Not yet,
today.
yes.
And anyway, all the teams will come back tomorrow. So we're just going to be planning on the seeding today. But let's take a look at the score that we have right now. MVP is the support, the tank, which is Thane Yuna having that 206.
Of course. We've seen impressive plays coming in Yuna, despite the fact that he probably doesn't deal a lot of damage. But when it comes to positioning wise, when it comes to, you know, locating himself in a better position to catch on the enemy's team, definitely did well with Avalanche Fury followed by the Valiant Charge. And if need be, finish anyone off with King's Glory, which we did see a couple of times.
And we didn't even see that he actually made use of the purifying bracers. Well, they got the vision coming out from the Lindies. They got an anti-crowd control in the form of the purifying bracers, actually negating the Darcy combo that can be set up. So we can see the reason why, you know, Darcy is having a hard time in setting up the dimensional cube. And of course, you know, so I guess it's a really good decision on the support item pick by the Thane as well. You the MVP, girl.
MVP. All right, so now we're going to, I believe that we're just going to continue on to see the next game real soon. But in the meantime, all right, I'm not too sure what's going on just yet, but it's okay. I believe that we're just going to get the players back into the game maybe a while later. But in the meantime, we're just going to go for a short break, shall we?
Are we going to go for a short break? And once again, we've been your shoutcasters. I'm Kaysaya, and I'm with Abstract. We'll be back after a few minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in and waiting out for the next game, which is going to happen real soon. Once again, this is the FSL Elite here in Suntec City Convention Expo. And we pretty much went through with quite a lot of games anyways.
A lot, actually. 5 games in total. All of these are best of 2. So later on, you're going to see one more best of 2 match. But to support these teams, they came all the way from Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam as
Taiwan.
well. Totally. And here we go. We're actually looking at EVOSxBazaar still and TNN. We're going to be on to game 2 in a few seconds. Or in a minute. I don't want to say seconds.
Yeah, seconds. You're just giving them false hope.
Yeah. I gotta be careful of what
1,
to
2, 3,
say.
4, 5.
They might do a countdown on how many is it. Then it went on to 60 seconds.
Yeah,
so it's already a minute.
Exactly, and that is where you will go up onto Reddit.
Yeah. Totally.
Casters does not abide to
Oh my!
time.
Oh my! But why they're gonna blame the casters?
I don't know.
Should
You
I
said
say-
seconds.
But anyway, let's look at the scores right now. This is the group stage scores at the moment. So looking at that, there's actually 4 points so far for EVOS Esports from Indonesia and FOBA team from Vietnam. They got 4 points, both of these two teams, and 2 points for EVOSxBazaar from Thailand, and TNN having 0 point so far.
Well,
Wow, indeed.
Wow, it's pretty sad for TNN so far. Honestly, I really hope to see them win one game.
Well, yeah, at least.
Win one game at least. But the thing is, it doesn't really make a difference, but it does consider as a morale booster, right?
Yes.
Because if you've been having a bad streak so far, and you finally win once,
But
that's the break of the curse.
But you know what? I just gotta share to you before in FSL Elite Mobile Legends Bang Bang, I did got to encounter this one team wherein they didn't even have any win on day 1, but on day 2 they become the champion. Who knows? But let's head on to our draft, guys, as our teams are both ready. Once again, this is EVOSxBazaar versus TNN.
Alright, so we're looking at the drafting phase. It does seem like Florentino is going to be the immediately banned out. And so is gonna be Lindis.
Well, we saw a while ago really good Florentino plays by EVOSxBazaar a while ago when they got to match up against EVOSxEsports. So it's just understandable why they also banned this one out. They don't really want to deal with this highly skilled player of the Florentino. And Lindis banning out for themselves because they don't really want to use this really powerful late game time marksman.
Yeah, especially since they have used Lindis for themselves
Yes.
previously. You know, they can't pick it out anymore. So, you know what? I'm gonna ban it. That's pretty much
Totally.
the main thing right now.
And although we haven't seen any Hayate win yet, TNN is gonna be banning out that one just to make sure. Because you know, you mentioned a while ago, okay, probably Hayate is still okay, although getting nerfed out. But potentially, is it really just the positioning or the you know execution of the plays of the Hayate or all the team fight? That's what that's what you have said. But for me, I guess
You love
yes,
Hayate. So
I
that's
love
the thing.
Hayate,
You
but-
love Hayate.
But I gotta say that I gotta admit honestly that it's really obvious now that the nerf that has been put onto this hero. Probably Fennec might be better, and the Elsu, even the
Violet
even, yeah,
as well.
even Violet. But anyway, let's continue talking about the draft in here. Yeah.
You sound really sad, you know,
enough
that,
about the
that
Hayate.
Hayate is not working out well.
Yes, that's what one of the cover photos that I'm using on one of my pages. By
Stephanie is better.
Sephora. Let's see if they're gonna go for the Sephora.
I really think that they should
Sephora
go for the
mid.
Sephora because this has been really old-fashioned in some sense, like maybe previous patch. In fact, it is not going to be a Sephora mid. It's going to be a Sephora
side.
roam.
Oh, Rome. But they got it
Sephora
Baldo.
roam.
Oh, you're talking
no,
about
TNN.
Oh,
yes.
I see. Okay.
Sephora roam. Varus
Red
goes
team's
to
turn
mid.
to
Sorry,
ban.
Varus goes to the Dark Slayer. Talon in mid.
Let's see if that's gonna happen. But Yao-chan in here getting a pick by EVOSxBazaar, and it's looking good so far for them. So for TNN, for that to counter what, they could go for an Annette. So Sephora or Annette might be better than the Sephora because Sephora can counter both the Baldum and the Yao-chan. With that ultimate coming out from her, you know, they could remove all of the CC that the Yao-chan and Baldum can do.
Right. So, all in all, Sephora!
Sephora getting back, probably they heard you, I don't know, but we can assume that
Oh, they banned it.
they banned it.
They
They banned it.
So yeah, it's pretty understandable to a certain extent. It kind of works together as a composition very, very well. And also, when it comes to counter, we have the you know the other active
Annette's
ban.
still available, yeah, for TNN to pick. I don't know if they're actually hearing us.
Nah, they're not gonna hear that.
I guess not, because if they do hear us, we have to like avoid, like, you know, mentioning the positions,
Yes.
where the whereabouts of the players.
Yep.
Anyway, a Murad ban in here by TNN. Understandable why they do not have any assassins yet to go onto the jungle, but looking at this one, they do not have. They could still offer a marksman jungle as well if they want to. I think EVOS actually loves going for a marksman jungle.
Understandably, marksman jungle. Okay, to a certain extent, like for Lindis, it's looking pretty fine. Violet used to be okay. Morin.
I don't know why Violet is not getting picked at all so far for day one.
Honestly, I don't understand that.
I don't understand too. Probably what we can say is that, well, Violet is technically a really late game hero. She has to focus on the jungle early to mid game time for her to get the damage that she needs. And I guess our players right now having this best of 2 matches really want to avoid that, you know, late game time fight.
Exactly. So Fennec does have the early game damage, Thieves Mark along with Rolling Lightning. So there is not a lot of marksmen that can deal that kind of early game damage that Fennec can.
That Fennec can indeed, and we don't know yet where the Fennec will go. Will he go for the side or will he go for the jungle? And so is the Baldum. He could go on to the roam or on the side as well. So if the Baldum goes onto the side and the Marja goes onto the side as well, we could have a jungle marksman in this one. And what are the options? We got Rourke, we got Moren, we got Slims as well that we haven't seen. But right now we can see the trends of the heroes. We have been seeing a lot of almost the same hero picks by both of this teams so far. Anyways, this is just a best of 2 match. But tomorrow is going to be more exciting.
Right. And well, tomorrow is the main stage.
Oh!
Right when we were talking about Caffeine.
We have been talking about Caffeine indeed. I'm so excited to see this. Caffeine can go onto the jungle or onto the side, just so you know, guys. And so it's kind of tricky. I love how advanced the level of drafting is right now because we have flexible hero roles in here. The Varus could even go mid or side. They just basically can adjust wherever they want to.
Exactly, so they can kind of do, you know, a pseudo counter.
Yeah.
You know, you can just play mind games with your
mind
enemies.
games.
So many things going on, and I really, really appreciate that here in Arena of Valor.
Kriknak getting a secure. Oh, they're not locking that one out
Not yet. Ormar as well. So, kind of weird if you ask me.
Because?
I just
I
doesn't
really,
seem like they have that sufficient Roma. Okay, sure, Ormar, Roma, sure, but
Team's turn.
Okay,
To pick.
they locked this one out. I think still I'm gonna go for the Annette support pick on this one just to basically counter out 2 heroes from the side of Bazaar Esports, but they decided for an Ormar source of stuns. But I think still for the side of TNN, they're locking a capability to lock down heroes in here because they're just gonna depend on the, you know, really few second stun that might be pulled out by the Ormar, so was the Fennec and Varus.
the stun coming from Omar takes some time to work out.
Yeah.
Swagger, I think it was the 4th Swagger, then you can get a nice stun in, if I'm not wrong.
Yep,
so
yep.
it takes some time to build up.
Yes.
And in the meantime, there's so many other heroes that is a lot more reliant when it comes to burst damage, instantaneous CCs. But for Omar, you need to have your presence known. So in this case, for TNN, they will be in the lane with their presence out in the open the entire time. They don't really have to care about ambush at all.
Kriknak getting picked by TNN Darcy for the last pick of EVOSxBazaar as well. So Kriknak, I'm just worried about the Kriknak. Potentially, she might want to get that Kafeni onto the back line. But with a lot of CC source, the Baldum is there, the Diao-chan is there to give protection to Kafeni. We might get worried.
Alright, so now ladies and gentlemen, before we head on into the game, we're just gonna go straight in for a short break. So we'll see you guys in a short while. So don't go anywhere. The game is waiting for you.
And we are back for the match between EVOSxBazaar and TNN. We have to repeat the drafting, but we will be retaining the first 3 picks of both of the teams. Once again, we will be your shoutcasters. I'm Kaysaya, and I'm with Abstract.
Remember how just now we were like confused and dumbfounded over the fact that there is an Omar and Kriknak, and we were like,
yeah, we were totally okay. Why would they prefer to have not a lockdown hero on this one? But let's see if they're gonna be changing that because we didn't actually get an information on which team was having a problem in terms of the pickings. But we can see in here it wasn't really Kafeni. It's actually Yena that's being secured by EVOSxBazaar. So it looks like they're gonna go for. I'm confused. They got 3 warriors. They got a Baldum, they got a Marja. I think they're gonna reserve the last lot for the marksman jungle. I can see in here because Yena and Marja go to the jungle, Baldum go for the roam, Diao-chan onto the middle lane. But we can see Ormar and Kriknak still getting locked in here. Still, they want that no solid CC for their lineup.
the only reliable stun that they have
What we've been talking about.
is only, okay, let's put it that way, okay? We have a couple of stuns that's available on the board coming from TNN. Phoenix Thieves Mark is one of them. After you reach the fourth mark, right? So that is by far the most reliable stun that you have.
I can even say that it's reliable. It's just a short stun.
Varus.
And even the passive of Ormar is just a short consecutive stun. And the Varus one.
Varus it's really hard to get Bloody Fangs on to get the stun in. So that's kind of the main thing, because you need both of your chains to hit right in the center, and honestly, you don't get that all the time.
Yeah, not all the time, but then again, in here we got a preview of both of the teams.
And what can I say? These teams probably might surprise me. So speaking of these teams, let's take a look at the team player profiles.
And there you go, we are heading on to the Antares battlefield. This is TNN versus EVOSxBazaar. A quick recap of the lineup we have here in here for EVOSxBazaar. Lucy on this Diao-chan, Alice on this Yena, Frozen Kiss on this Marja, Yunha for the Baldoom, and Maz on this Rourke.
And on the other side, for TNN Rain, we do have Quicknack. LB is going to be onto the Varus, Ding onto the Talon, Mia onto the Ormar, and finally Nana onto the Fennec.
Alright, Fennec having that sprint onto his side. Alright, looks like she wants to go for a chase or potentially a defensive move to make use of that sprint. But we can see in here now an aggressive invade coming up from the side of TNN, but they weren't able to secure that neutral monster onto the camp of EVOSxBazaar.
Unfortunately though, now here we have in the bottom lane, right? So basically it is going to be a Marja versus a Fennec. I wouldn't be expecting much coming in from Marja. I wouldn't expect that, Fennec would die, because like I said, I'm not a fan of Marja. I'm not a fan of a lot of things, in fact, so count me out on that.
Well, actually, I like the Fennec hero in particular, but I guess in terms of overall team composition, I'm gonna go for the lineup of EVOSxBazaar in here. We got a really holding that thought.
And we do have the Ion Blasts coming out by Talon. Not gonna do much though, but the Rourke definitely made a mark with his charge shot right onto the opponent's side.
This Rourke can go online mid to late game time, but you can see in here 4-man rotating onto the Sentinel. Still, but
FZK does have the Thieves Mark on herself though, but it's not like it's gonna make any difference whatsoever. Time has passed, and of course, a lot of things has elapsed right now. Abyssal Dragon Kratos is now available for the picking, and anyone can now make Dragon Soup.
And just like what I wanted, I'm going to continue on what I wanted to say a while ago. We saw a while ago 4-man rotation coming onto the side of EVOSxBazaar just to basically secure that Spirit Sentinel. Again, we got to repeat the importance of the Spirit Sentinel. Really easy to kill, and at the same time gives you more gold than this Abyssal Dragon. And Abyssal Dragon, though, look at that. The red team didn't even try to contest that early on right after securing the Sentinel. What they have been planning.
Oh, the wild charge coming from Yunha on the Mia. Unfortunately, the Diamond Dust is not going to land on the Mia, unfortunately. So, well, Omar is going to be safe and sound for the time being. In the meantime, Yunha just going to be walking around like he's stuck in a walking machine or something like that.
Safe and sound indeed, but I like what Alice is actually doing in here, cutting the minion waves onto the side of the DS lane onto the top, and that will actually buy a lot of time for the Rourke as well to join onto the potential try to put a pressure onto the tier 1 onto the top.
In the meantime, let's take a look at the bottom lane. It does seem like Quick Knight is going to be in some trouble. Terrifying playing out. Looks like he's not able to get himself away from all of that. Lightning strike coming in from Ding that definitely do a little bit of damage. However, the Wild Priest coming in from Yunha will be able to help the team to completely disengage from the entire team, so that, they do not lose anymore, or rather, they do not lose a single one from the entire engagement.
You can see EVOSxBazaar making sure that they put a pressure onto the DS lane instead of the normal Abyssal Dragon lane. But I gotta commend the Thunderbird indeed coming off from from Ding, killing, of course, the Baldoom on getting caught Baldoom getting caught onto that fight.
Well, what can I say? So far, so good. The lightning strike coming in from Ding was still, well, it would clear the creep just a little bit. The sad thing is, Lucy hasn't really done much as Diao-chan just yet. Does have a lot of potential coming in from Diao-chan. Diamond Dust with the stun followed by literally anything and everything. And speaking of that, the Diamond Dust gonna completely miss out. The Blizzard is going to come out though.
Again.
But, well,
And I think this is the second kill that went on to the Deochan making use of the ultimate. But then again, we can see in here the position once more. They secured in here the red side, this Spirit Sentinel, and they're not minding the Abyssal Dragon at all. So they are actually playing out of the classic, which is, okay, put a pressure onto the Abyssal Dragon lane. We're gonna do something different that this opponent is not doing, which is just focus on the other side part of the map and just later on transition onto the Abyssal Dragon lane, just what like they are doing right now.
Don't Drop is gonna completely miss the enemies. Unfortunately, we do have 4 men. They're gonna relegating themselves into the bottom lane, and it doesn't seem like they are going to pursue down here at the bottom side. Mid lane with Yina trying to do a little bit with a Luna Strike. And in the meantime, Mash right on the Abyssal Dragon. Hold that up for a little while at least. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get away from all of that as Ding takes the kill for himself.
The mages on this game are actually securing the kill so far right now. Abyssal Dragon just been taken, and the Tier 1 turret is going to fall down anytime soon with the DPS source coming up from Maz, the work of Team EVOSxBazaar.
And we're just gonna take a look. 5 minutes and 30 seconds in. 2:3 with a total of about 2,000 or rather 1,500 goal advantage in favor of EVOSxBazaar at this moment of time. Middle lane is still pretty much intact, and that is pretty much the only lane that is intact for Team TNN. So it's understandable that Team EVOSxBazaar will start to push down a little bit more focus in the middle inside because they've gotten the Abyssal Dragon. Darkslayer is coming out in a minute time, like literally in a minute.
Yeah.
So they will want to push down the middle lane as soon as possible, get a little bit more of the map control, and then Darkslayer should be easy peasy.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the next thing that they really want to do, but for the time being, since most of the players are in here, the Rourke is going to get some buff. 54 seconds as well. The Abyssal Dragon is going to be available. Ultimate coming out from the Marja.
And here we go. Marja is not looking good at all. Ghost Walk is not going to be used just yet, but a Walking Goal coming in from me will be able to do a significant amount of damage.
Oh,
Freezer
man.
completely misses the enemies, unfortunately. No. Right, rolling lightning, trying to get himself away. Right to the brushes, but not enough. Both Nana and Mia, unfortunately for them, they will go down from all of the entirety of the onslaught with no one dead at the opponent's side.
That ultimate coming out from the Diaochan wasn't even needed to take out that out of position Fennec, as well as the Ormar. And there you go, really easy tier 2 turret onto the bottom lane by the red team. Yena is actually having a 1v1 duel against Malby as well, this Varus. But 5-man and 4-man rotation going on to the middle lane, and they are taking over map domination.
Well, my oh my. The map control is definitely going to be there, despite the fact that they did not bring down the middle lane turret. It's fine still, though.
It's fine, totally.
It's fine.
Because they got 2 kills from the bottom lane part of the map, plus a turret. So that actually gave them a 4K snowball in here.
My oh my. Total 4K advantage? How are they going to turn back from this? I mean, yes, you can still turn back from the game,
Yes,
but it's going to
totally.
be tough. I'm just going to put it that way. It's going to be tough.
This is why the draft is so important. They do not have a hard CC in here. So what will be the source of really good initiation from the side of TNN? And that's going to be a total problem because, you know what, we have the draft, we have the execution, and we can say that 60% or 70% of the draft will really contribute on the potential outcome of the team fight, and they just gonna depend on the probably 30 to 40% chance on how they can potentially execute this fight that they have against EVOSxBazaar.
Mia completely melting down. HP is extremely low. Walking Cold, still a slip of health, but he still did not manage to make it all alive. LB coming straight in, managed to use the benefit to get himself all the way from the danger. And of course, the Chain Hammer, Cyclone coming in from Fennec. Not able to do anything at this moment of time. Yuna just gonna dive straight onto the turret. They are looking for more kills in the end because of the negligence. It does seem like the Paladin went down for absolutely nothing.
Oh man, did you even see that Rourke was actually positioning himself onto the front line, making sure that the rest of the members are actually dealing that damage onto the turret. And there you go, map dominance right now by the red team. EVOSxBazaar at the moment trying to get the tier 2 turret onto the top lane. Let's see if they will be able to do so.
Waiting for the perfect setup right there. A terrifying play right on the mass, and they are just getting themselves out of the way.
Ooh,
And
wow. Even making use of the ultimate just to secure the blue buff, was that it?
Wow, okay.
Actually.
Yeah, so they don't really care about Blizzard. They just want to deny as much gold as possible from the opponent's side.
Yes, and to potentially zone out the members of TNN. Well, seeing that ultimate, of course, you don't really want to go inside that one. So we're going to get this buff of yours.
So this is interesting, you see, because not a lot of people can outweigh, outweigh the consequences, or rather, weigh out what's good, what's bad. Should I use an ultimate for a buff that can clearly be hit once?
Right. I don't know if that was a mistake or really they're part of the strategy. It could be, and we could definitely accept that because, gold is really important onto this game, a part, of course, of the map dominance that you need to have. And because, with the gold, you can buy equipments, and with equipments, you win team fights, and just in case it happens.
So, all in all, they did manage to secure the Sage Golem. That's one thing. And they will be able to deny a couple of things away from TNN. They're lacking in terms of gold. They do not have a lot in their own jungle. They only have enough to defend the lanes and literally whatever that they have. So, they're starving.
Now we can see even the Fennec making use of his ultimate to zone out the members of the red team right now. And of course, that will definitely lose a potential source of damage from the side of TNN, just in case. Oh, the armor actually went in!
And it looks like the double-decker bus is just going to charge right in. Yuna trying to get himself away from all of that danger. It doesn't seem like the Wild Prison will be able to capture just one man, and only one man. And he's trying to go for the advancing mood right on the Fennec. And Fennec will go down in a moment of time. And he's still continuing down his assault. And just like that, 5 men down.
I think that was a bad decision by TNN, going for a risky attempt to steal the Dark Slayer. They even forgot about the top lane, which was getting pushed by the minions already, and they lost. They actually got a wipe out onto their very own team, and this is a potential end of this game too against Team EVOSxBazaar. And there you go, Armor
with
cannot
only
do
Omar, what you can do, swagger?
Just the swag.
Just the swag, we end the game with the swagger. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, that is it.
That was it.
Yeah, 60% of the game
Woo.
is lost because of compositions. Let's just put it that way.
And because of this result, we can see that EVOSxBazaar already have 5 points, and they're actually onto the top list in the seeding right now. But we still have another match incoming: FOBA versus from Vietnam and EVOSxEsports from Indonesia. So they are actually tied onto 4 points, both of these teams. So let's see if they're gonna end up on a 1-1. Or someone will get the 3 points.
Well, if all of them is gonna go 1-1, that's gonna be tough. And just, what can I say? It's just going to be extremely tough because we are going to be expecting a little bit of a tiebreaker in the next game if it's going to be 1-1, right? Tiebreaker, definitely. And 3-man tiebreaker is not something that I would expect, but if it's a 2-man tiebreaker, then sure, we will go in for one game afterwards. The one game afterwards will be able to decide who is going to be in the top part of the brackets. Do note that once again, this is round robin. So anyone in the round robin stages, we are filtering out, or rather seeding out the players who is going to be in the top bracket, or rather the upper bracket, and who is going to be at the lower brackets. For tomorrow's games, the upper bracket will play a best of 3. The lower bracket will go to play a best of 1. So if you are relegated down to the lower brackets, my oh my, what can I say? If you lose one game, you are out. So far, it has been pretty forgiving due to the fact that this is all round robin. You still have one day, and then you have another day. Let me shift myself to the center, ow. And, well, basically, that's all I can say. Tomorrow will be the ultimate test for every single players out there. The ultimate test for every single team. We'll be able to finally see who is going to place 4th place, 3rd, 2nd, and eventually champions. So, FSL Elite for Arena of Valor once again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. You have just witnessed EVOSxBazaar7T versus TNN. Unfortunately for TNN, they did not manage to score a single point to themselves. So far, 0-6. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we head off into the interview, we're just going to go for a short little break. So just head on, just stay with us. Tune in for a while longer. and we'll be right back to you with Kasaya with the interviews. Stay right with us.
Yes, I guess we do. Yes, so this is again FSL Elite. I'm Kaisaya, and I'm going to be interviewing two members from Team TNN. This is Nana, their ADC, and Mia, their support. So I guess my question would be, how did you actually prepare for the day one tournament, and how do you feel being part of this tournament?
We knew about this competition about 2 months ago, and we would get together every night and practice online. Because we are from different parts of Taiwan, so we can only play online together. And sometimes after we play together, we would chat as well to like get to know each other better.
Okay, maybe I'll just ask a different question to you. So for Mia, well, today it has ended for you guys a 0 point. So what did you feel about that, and what do you think what went wrong, and how are you going to plan to do and cope up for tomorrow's fight?
Because we are a little sick, both I and my jungle, so we don't perform very well. We are very sad, but we will cheer up and prepare for tomorrow. Thank you.
I hope your jungler will feel better soon, especially for tomorrow. But then again, I guess, what can you say, or do you have any message to your fans or family, friends, supporters watching all over from Taiwan?
For the fans, we will try harder tomorrow. Taiwan #1.
Thank you for your donation, and we will try our best to earn the #1. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nana and Mia, for the interview. Then again, guys, catch more action later on because we have another best of 2 match that you will be witnessing later. See you guys.